Thank you. I'm here because you're here. You are what drives me. I deployed to Vietnam twice. I know what it's like to deploy. I know what it's like to come home. And it's an extremely important process in your life. It's a great opportunity to deploy, and it's a great opportunity to come home. It's a great opportunity to deploy again. Because as you do that, you get better. As a human being, the families get tighter and stronger, but it's got to be done right. And that's what's important about Yellow Ribbon. That's what we've learned about Yellow Ribbon. And that's what we learned in the early part of the decade after 9/11 as folks were deploying and going into combat. We relearned it, actually. And one of the reasons we had to relearn it, if you go from 1972, when I left Vietnam, to 9/11, that's the longest period of time that America has had a major war since 1754. The biggest gap. We lost a generation. We didn't know how to go to war. We didn't know how to come home from war. So it's a social fact, and it's really impacted how the nation has responded, and the departments, military departments, have responded early in the past decade. And we've learned a lot, and as we're still learning, and pre-deployment preparation is absolutely critical. It's critical to the success of the deployment, it's something that we just started doing about 18 months ago across the department with Yellow Ribbon. Now, I'd like to, on behalf of the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Homeland Security, I'd like to express the appreciation of their departments for your contribution, both members of the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard family. And on behalf of the Commander-in-Chief, I'd like to also express his appreciation, the appreciation of the country for your dedication. I can say that because I know the guy. And this is very much a part of what he and the First Lady are doing and have been doing and this is not a paid political announcement, I'll tell you in a minute. They care for you. So do the Bidens. Bidens have two sons that have deployed, and they get it. And we've been undertaking a major effort in the government over the last 3 years to strengthen the support of military families. And why we've been doing that is we realize that this is the first time in American history that we deployed a married military force. In my day, you got drafted, and the guys got drafted, and we went to basic training, and the ladies and the kids went back to mama, and that's what the country did, and we did it forever. And now, with the all-volunteer force, we suddenly realize as we're deploying forces, 65% are married, and the whole dynamic is changing, and families are actually serving. And in your case, in my business, employers are serving. So when we talk about the total force today, we talk about the service member, we talk about the family, we talk about the employer. We talk about the scores of volunteers, including these people out here in these tables, who are supporting this effort. I have Glenn's boss, the guy that's between me and him, has 5,000 volunteers in 54 states and territories supporting employer support to the Guard and Reserve. These people are doing that when you talk to them because they want to serve too. So there's a lot of energy out there to help you with this, and you're not alone. I can tell you today I got 92,000 guardsmen and reservists involuntarily mobilized. That's the count as we speak. I also have, among that number, over 100,000 deployed on all 7 continents of the world, including Antarctica, because it's the summer down there. So we send we send Navy cargo handlers and some 130 drivers from the Air Guard down there to support the science work on Antarctica. But literally 100,000, and all of them, all of the 90,000 aren't deployed, so that are involuntarily mobilized. So there's about 120 to 130,000 Guardsmen and reservists on any given day supporting the United States requirements around the globe. So you're not alone there either. And getting back to the Commander-in-Chief, I'll tell you a little story. Just after the election, we were all debating whether we should keep Secretary Gates or not as Secretary of Defense. And I was asked by the NewsHour, who I have a long relationship with, that's the evening public television news show, to come on and debate this issue. So I called Chicago to make sure I wasn't going to get anybody mad at me if I did it. And the president came back and said, or the president-elect came back and said, well, you're on the NewsHour tonight, make one point. While it's important to me who's running the Pentagon, it's more important to me how well the Pentagon's taking care of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, and Coast Guardsmen around the world. He didn't have to say that. And I came into the Pentagon working with Wounded Warrior and found out that Yellow Ribbon was an 800 number and a web page. That's what it was in 2009. And I reached out and found Glenn, just by chance. He had quite a reputation. He was a college professor, you know, he was one of those high things, but he was also a Master Chief Petty Officer in Navy Reserve, so, and an aviator to boot, what can I tell you? So we started to put together the team. And then I found out that the Coast Guard didn't have a Yellow Ribbon program. And after Glenn pulled me off the ceiling and got me calmed down, we started to work with, I got a hold of my friends at Buzzards Point and said, let's make this happen, whatever it takes. So here we are today, and I am happy as hell that this program is going on. I got to tell you, in 1997, I was in the Pentagon and we were talking budgets and we were talking about the end of the Cold War and we were talking about the peace dividend, and the Navy came in and said, we're going to do away with PSUs. We're going to take away the money and I don't know, buy some more ships with it or something. And I said, no, you're not going to do that. And it wasn't too long later down the road that my confidence in the need for your organizations was reinforced. So your country needs you. I got to tell you that. With your family members, your Coast Guard person is doing very important work, and they will be doing very important work on this deployment. And everybody in this country that knows what you do will appreciate you for it. Thank you very much.